Hello, my name is Tom Head, and today I'm going to be doing a lip sync tutorial that uses Synfig Studio animation program and the Papagayo lip syncing program. But first I want to show you the proper way to set up your cartoon mouth. Here you'll see I have a head that I'm going to open up with GIMP. Of course, there are no eyes and mouths because those are what I want to have animated. We're going to throw in some eyes real quick. Let's see, open as layer. We can go to the eyes. There we go. This is just a demonstration to show how things can be set up to make them easier to animate. And then I want to show the mouth folder. See, every mouth piece here is going to be set up by the Preston Blair phonemes that are used in the Papagayo animation program. Everything's named very specifically: A, I, E, etc., F, V, L, MBP, O, rest, U, and WQ. Mustache is different. It's just because mustaches are cool. Now, just to show you the relationship, also open as layer, we'll go into the mouth, bring in AI. What I do for GIMP is I'll set up the parts that I want to create, and in separate layers I'll make all the different phonemes for the mouth and also the different shapes for the eyes, and then crop the image itself so that you'll have all that transparency layer, but it really helps with placement in the Synfig Studio file when you go to animate it finally. That's just to show how everything relates. Now, it's very important that all the mouth pieces be in the same file, and it really just helps for organization to keep the eyes separate as well. What we're going to do now is go to Papagayo and show how to set up the phonemes. And they have a very simple tutorial called Vista. Hasta la vista, baby. I'm not sure if this is going to come through just by playing it, but it says hasta la vista, baby. And how Papagayo works is you simply have to enter the text. Hasta la vista, baby. Like that. And you can choose what language you want to break it down in. It's mostly Spanish, but Spanish won't understand baby, so you can get away with English on this one. Okay, it'll have the main phrase here up top, and you can stretch it out to cover up. You have to just arrange that to cover up the entire speaking part. And you can also keep playing hasta la vista, baby. And you can see where different words are queuing in. So now you can move the words around themselves, the individual words. Click on them, and it'll say baby. So Vista needs to move up. What you're doing is you're trying to line up the words with the sounds. Yeah, it's really fun to watch. Sorry about that, but there's something, once you get into it, it's not too difficult to do. Okay, pretty much got all the words lined up, and you'll see the mouth over here will move because it's already setting up the phonemes for the words that you've put in. Hasta la vista, baby. And it syncs up very well. I mean, you could go even further and move the individual phonemes around but it's not necessary. So we can change the name to Tom because, you know, why not? Then we want to export the voice. This will create a Papagayo folder, a data folder for the different switches. Oops. One last thing I want to point out. Frames per second. Always want to make sure your frames per second are at whatever frame rate you're going to have your Synfig animation at. So I choose 24. It's a nice, good flow. Here we go. Export voice. Now, what I want to do is I want to find my own setup desktop. Want to actually find where I put the mouse, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to do Asta and save it in the mouth folder. Just to make everything easy. Now you can also save this file in case you ever wanted to mess around with the placement of the phonemes. Things didn't work out or something like that, but we don't have to worry about it now. Now, we are going to the lip sync tutorial, to mouth, and here is the Asta. Open it up with any text editor. I like to use Notepad++ because I'm on Windows. You'll see everything here. It's Moho Switch is what they call themselves, because Moho is the base program for Papagayo. And then here's all the different frame numbers, and these are the different phonemes that will switch onto those frame numbers. What you need to add to make it a proper list file that Synfig will understand is first you want to put in FPS for frames per second until you're running at 24 frames per second, and then also the file type. So I saved or exported all those mouths as PNG files. And that is pretty much it. The only other thing you have to do is make sure that you're saving as in the same folder a lst file. Save it. So we go to the mouth folder, and we should have an Asta list file. And it with Notepad again, make sure everything's set up. Oh, the only other thing, it's not really important right now on this, it's such a small thing, but you can always add frames in here too, especially for rest. It won't automatically add rests for you, except between words usually. It just helps with your animation. Okay, save it, close it down. Let's go into Synfig. Okay, it's going to be pretty simple, straightforward. We're going to import We're going to import the head. That's a big head. First thing I always do is encapsulate things. It helps keep them organized, encapsulate, and then label so you know what you're dealing with. And you can shrink it down two different ways. Either use the encapsulation itself. Just go down to zoom. 0 is your base when you're using zoom. So to make something smaller, you have to go negative. It's just the way it is. Do a little bit more than that. Alright, that'll work fine. Now because it's encapsulated and the zoom is controlled by the encapsulation, anything you bring into that encapsulated folder will be affected by the zoom. That's why we encapsulate. It makes things a lot easier, because now you're going to import, you would think, the individual mouthpieces, but you don't have to. All you need to bring in is the list file that's located in the same folder as the different phonemes. And you just drag that in, put it on top. Oh look, there's a mouth. And one more thing we want to bring in, just so it doesn't look too freaky, is, of course, some eyes. You can see they're just huge there, but as soon as you bring them into the head folder, they go and revert to normal size. Now we can just scratch here and show how the mouth's going to move anyway. Or we can do a simple preview. And we'll do about 2 seconds because it's not longer than that. Quality of 1 means finest quality, frames per second, 24, so it's not skipping anything. And you can always switch begin time and end time. And it's rendering right down here. You see it's pretty quick. Hit play. Hasta la vista, baby. And that is it. All you have to do is save your file and you're all set. The main thing I want to point out again is just make sure you have the Asta list file or whatever phoneme list file in the same folder as all your mouth shapes, and all your mouth shapes do have to be named correctly by the Papagayo Preston Blair phoneme names. Just look this stuff up on Google, it's out there. I just want to say thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'm putting up my own cartoons too as headtoons. I should say headtoons, branding, very important. So feel free to subscribe. Let me know what you think. Have a great day.